Today. Good morning, Year 9. So what we're going to do today is we're looking at negative indexes. So, in the past, all we've seen so far is we've seen those positive ones, like x to the power of 5. Now, a negative index is actually a little bit weirder. Say, for example, we had a to the power of negative 3. The negative just means the power is on the bottom. So we've got 1 over a to the power of 3. So all I've done is this negative means I've got to do 1 over. And that's actually the basis of all those things we learned about with our trigonometry, where we had sine and we had sine to the minus 1. Which actually means the inverse. So what we're going to do with these indexes is we're actually going to do quite a bit of different stuff. Technical term. So, let's have a look at our first example today, because we've had a bit of a chat about what happens. So we've got x to the power of minus 2. So that means we got x squared, but we got 1 over x squared. So that's the key take-home message from this one. And let's have a look at a slightly more difficult example. So you might ask, well, what am I going to do here? Well, the 3 is just a 3. A to the power of negative 2 means we put the a on the bottom of the brackets. And the b to the power of 4 stays up the top. So all we're doing, we're just rewriting just that section. So we've got the a to the minus 2, and that's the bit that's going to go on the bottom. Now, we can get more complicated ones, like 1 over c to the power of negative 3. In this case, we've got a negative power on the bottom of a fraction. Now, ordinarily, that looks pretty nasty. But what we've got to do is we've just got to take that c and we've got to put it up the other way. So it becomes c cubed over 1, which is the same as c cubed. I'll leave that up there for you for a little bit. Rewrite with positive indices. So in this one, we've got x to the power of negative 3 over y to the power of negative 4. So what we're going to do in this one, we're going to have to flip the top and the bottom. So I'm going to put the x on the bottom because it's a negative power, so it's got to go down the other side. My y is also a negative power, so I'm going to put the y up the top and change the power to positive. So that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to rotate them round. Another way to look at this question would be to say that that is 1 over x cubed times y to the 4 over 1. Now, I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. When we're doing fractions and we're doing multiplication, we just multiply across the top. So 1 times y to the power of 4 is y to the power of 4. 1 times x to the power of 3 is x to the power of 3. It's just about taking your time with these and making sure you're answering the questions correctly. I better put a horrible one up there. How about 5 over x cubed y to the power of negative 5. Now this one might look a little bit horrible. It's actually not as bad as it looks. So the 5 and the x cubed are going to stay the same. We just want to move this y to the power of negative 5. Now y to the power of negative 5, we're going to have to put that up the top. So we're going to have to say that that is y to the power of 5. And that is, unfortunately, all we have to do. I've been rambling on for a little bit longer than normal, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work through the last couple. What happens if we have to express something as a number without using our calculator? So we've got 3 to the power of minus 4. So we're going to rewrite that with a positive index. We're going to rewrite that as 1 over 3 to the power of 4. Now, I'm expecting most people to go, okay, 1 over 3 squared times 3 squared. Now, I did 3 squared because I can't actually remember what 3 to the power of 4 is, but I know that 3 squared is 9, so 1 over 9 times 9 gives me 1 over 81. So, with these ones where we're asked to do it without using a calculator, first of all, we write it as a positive power, and then we work through the maths, the arithmetic of getting the actual numerical answer. So we could have harder ones like minus 5 over 3 to the power of minus 2. Again, I'm going to start with getting rid of that negative index. I've got minus 5, the 3 goes up the top, so it's going to be times 3 squared. Now, 3 squared is 9 times minus 5, which gives me minus 45. Again, it's just a matter of taking your time, working through it. My final one, because I'm just not really, I don't feel like I've covered everything unless I do a fraction. So, we're actually going to use index laws on this one. We're going to say that that minus 4 is the same as 2 to the power of minus 4 over 3 to the power of minus 4. Now, we actually looked at something very similar, just with pronumerals instead of numbers. What we're going to do is we've got to make it into a positive index. So, we're going to start with the 3, so I'm going to put the 3 to the power of 4. I've got 2 to the power of negative 4, so that's going to be 2 to the power of 4. Now, 3 to the power of 4, luckily enough, we worked that out down the bottom here. So 3 to the power of 4 is 81. 2 to the power of 4 just happens to be a nice one as well. It happens to be 16. And I'm quite happy if you don't simplify that fraction any further. So, what we're going to do today, we're going to have a go at 6e, which happens to be on page 375. Have a good day.